welcome to my channel. My name is Misty, and today's video is going to be about that mom burnout and needing rest. So if you're brand new here, welcome, and feel free to go through any of the other homeschooling videos I have here on this channel. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you go for all the future homeschooling content. Also, for any of you watching, if you enjoy this video and you find it useful or helpful in any way, make sure that you hit the thumbs up button so I know to make more content just like this for you in the future. All right, let's get into it and talk about all the mom stuff. So this isn't necessarily for homeschooling moms, but just moms in general. And I want to speak to the fact that a lot of us in this year, in this time, are going through a lot of unrest, a lot of chaos, uncertainty. We have obviously just the crazy things going on in the world right now, and that is already so much to handle on top of what you are personally going through without all the craziness of this year, right? We have our own personal struggles. Some of us are going through really hard mental and emotional days. Some of us are going through a lot of physical fatigue. Some of us are highly isolated and really need connection. You know, the list goes on. So many of us have things going on that are really just causing us to feel very burdened and very heavy and tired and needing rest. I'm speaking from experience. I'm going through it myself. You know, we all have things on our plate and we're all dealing with stressful situations, and you're not alone. We're all going through it. I for sure am. So what I wanted to do was take time today to just talk about allowing yourself rest and what that could look like. Now, for a lot of us, especially if you're watching this video, most of you are on a one-income household, and there's probably not a lot of wiggle room for money. So these things that I'm going to talk about are a lot more practical than saying go on a vacation by yourself or a girls retreat. Like, for a lot of us, that's not an option. Not only just personally, but in general right now, travel is highly discouraged. So let's just talk about some of those more basic things that we would be able to find rest in. So first and foremost, for a lot of us who are kind of like the sole care provider for our children, in the sense that our spouses or significant others are working a ton. Now, granted, there are people watching this who could be working parents as well. Either way, this works for you, but I specifically am speaking from the period of life that I'm in. And so as the sole care provider, in the sense that my husband is not available for a large sum of the day, I have to find very specific moments for rest. I don't have an option really to take an entire day and leave the house and rest, you know, or to have them all leave the house and me rest alone in my home. So for me, it looks a little different. Now, the biggest part of understanding rest in these small spaces is the attitude you have to carry behind it, which is really hard. It's a struggle when, for instance, you're getting 5 minutes to yourself to relax and to de-stress and to just, you know, meditate or read a book, whatever you're doing. And then the children abruptly interrupt that. And it's so hard in the moment to not cringe and be so angry, because here you are finally getting a moment to yourself, and you're quickly reminded that what I often hear myself say is, here's another reminder that I'm nothing but a mom. And it is a really bad mentality to have, and I'm working on that. But that is the first thing that comes to mind, is I'm so at peace and excited to have this moment to myself. And then it gets interrupted, and I have this attitude of, I'm just reminded that I'm nothing but a mom, and I'm frustrated. It's so hard not to have that attitude. And I'm noticing that a big part of finding rest in your day is to first address that issue, address that attitude, and work on it. So instead of being frustrated that it came to an abrupt end, I'm working so hard. Like I said, I'm speaking from personal experience, and I'm just hoping that this helps with some of the struggles that some of you are going through. But it's about changing the attitude in the moment, and to stop and say, I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm going to be thankful for that 5 minutes that I just got. And I think that's the biggest thing before we get into any of this. But you have to just be thankful for those little moments you're getting, because we know that it's a struggle to just get them. And so we should really just stop and be thankful that we even got them in the first place. You know, we have to remember that these kids are only in our home for so much of their life. And once that's gone, we're going to miss this so much. And so I'm trying to work on being thankful for those little spurts of time, because one day I'm going to have a lot more time to myself, and I'm sure it's going to feel lonely. That's how I imagine it to be, and I'll miss these days. So really just work on having that mentality of how to look at these little moments of time to yourself. So with that being said, let's just talk about some of the ways that I'm finding rest in these chaotic times, and I'm hoping that it will help you too. So first of all, outside of those little moments of rest that we're going to talk about in a second, I wake up significantly earlier than the rest of the household. I wake up around 5 a.m. The goal is eventually to make the time very fulfilling and just, getting everything done, really hustling and grinding hard during that time, right? That's my alone time to work and to do all the things I need to do. But the truth is right now it's a time of rest. And so sometimes the hustle has to take a back seat to needing to use the time more wisely to make sure that I am mentally preparing myself and getting the rest, like I said, mentally, spiritually, and all of that like I need. So lately what I've been doing with that time is I'll wake up at 5 a.m. and I kid you not, I will go sit on the couch and I will literally just stare at nothing in the dark for a good portion of time. And that's just because, one, let's be real, I'm tired. But two, I just feel like I need that moment of silence. There's so many days that I've had where I'm like, I would give anything to just stare at a blank wall right now and not talk, because there's so much overstimulation in a household with kids. And so I take that time in the morning to just spend a good portion of time, 10, maybe even 20 minutes, just honestly sitting in silence and in the dark and just staring at nothing. But I find that this just really helps, like I said, almost in a similar way to meditating, but I'm not meditating. But it kind of just gives me that calm moment of peace and quiet, because I know that when those girls wake up, it will not be like that. And then I'm also taking that time in the morning to do things like devotionals. I think a big part of resting is, if you are a person of faith, this is for you. If it's not, that's okay. Take what you want, leave what you don't, okay? But spending time in a devotional, and I often do devotionals from other women's perspectives for obvious reasons, but just taking that time to read and allow someone else's thoughts to help you see things clearer, if that makes sense. I like devotionals from women's perspectives, because they understand these periods of life that we go through that honestly men cannot get. And I just love hearing those perspectives of women who have overcome these areas or have found scriptures that really speak to these times of life. And I find a lot of rest in that. I find a lot of peace in that. And it often leaves me feeling recharged. So I highly recommend doing something like that, where you find just ways to use your faith to help uplift you and to bring you rest. You can also use this time for showering alone. If you're someone who feels better about yourself doing your hair or makeup or getting dressed up, spend this time doing that. Figure out a quick 5-minute face you can do. Make your hair cute, whether it's down or up, doesn't matter. Put on a nice pair of jeans, whatever it looks like for you. Maybe you just want to be in yoga pants. That's me. I just want to be in yoga pants all day. Whatever that looks like, spend time taking care of yourself and doing that. I don't do that every day, but it definitely helps when I do. So yes, I get up significantly earlier than everybody else, and I do things like that at that time to just kind of take care of me and to get my attitude right, so that when those girls charge out of their bedroom ready to start the day, I'm ready to go. But even on top of that, whether you stay up late or get up early, we still need to find those moments. And so I do take advantage of that. So when the girls are homeschooling and I'm done with my portion of teaching them and they're doing amazing back here with the trays or the sensory bins and they don't need me for a moment, I take that moment and I sit down on this couch and I just watch them and I just breathe and I don't talk, I don't answer questions. I just take that moment for me because they don't need me. They are very much interested in what they're doing and their brains are going, and I've served my purpose in that moment. So now I can take a moment to rest and breathe on my own. I often also, when not homeschooling, if there's moments where my girls are getting along peacefully and they love playing together, they don't always want me around, let's be real. I mean, they love to play with me to a point where I'm tired playing, but there are times where they just want each other and they want to go off to a room and play. And I take advantage of those moments. I will put on the TV. If you go on YouTube, there's like these videos of random scenes. So it'll be like a cabin on a lake, and it'll be like a nice quiet storm over the lake. And so it'll be just a vision of you sitting on the lake porch and the rain coming down, and you'll just hear the rain and soft thunder. I'll put that on or headphones if I need to. So I'll put that on the TV and I will read a book. Usually for me it's an ebook because I just don't like having a lot of books of my own cluttering the house. Yes, I'll just read a book and listen to that while my girls play peacefully, and it recharges me so much. And also the type of content that I'm reading, I mean, you do what works for you. I'm not much of a fiction reader, but I love self-help books, self-improvement books, autobiographies. Those are my kind of things, and those recharge me and inspire me and make me feel better. So make sure you're finding content that feeds your soul. Recently, thanks to Oglesby Ohana, Tori, I freaking love you, girl. She had us read The Life-Giving Table by Sally Clarkson, and it has been feeding my soul. So take advantage of those little pockets you find. Take advantage of them and just spend that time focusing on you. Don't get me wrong, these moments come few and far between, but I pay attention for them because I look forward to them. And when I get that abrupt ending, I just work on being thankful that I got it at all. I can't stress enough how big of an impact that makes. Our attitude is everything, guys. So it's important for you to stop, check your own self, and make sure that you are setting the example you would want your kids to, model after. So I'm often trying to check my attitude because sometimes my attitude sucks. Another thing that I often do is I will put on music that feeds my soul. And there are usually two types, and I'll put on my headphones, and this is when I'm cooking dinner. My husband will get off of work, he'll play with the girls, and it's my time. I love cooking. I love doing things that ground me. So, baking things is my jam. I love doing it. I'm not saying I'm like pro at it, but I enjoy it. It brings me so much happiness. So I'll put on the headphones and I will put on either, there's an argument, how do you say the word, Celtic or Celtic, whatever, but Celtic music, or soaking worship music, like just something that's a nice vibe, that's chill and just feeds my soul. Speaking of that, sometimes neo soul feeds my soul too. But those are kind of the genres I will listen to, and I'll put my headphones on and just block out the world, and it's just me and my cooking and my baking. So that's something that brings me a lot of joy. And when it's warm outside, gardening is something that does this as well. So just look for those things that you enjoy that bring you happiness and peace and make you feel uplifted as a human being, and kind of separate your identity from motherhood for a moment and give you those little breaks of feeling like motherhood is all you do. But yes, I hope that you found that helpful, found it useful, and yeah, if you have any other tips or tricks, leave them in the comments below. But I'm telling you guys, take advantage, look for those little moments, and have so much gratitude for what you get out of them, because in those little moments of your day, you can completely change your attitude and get enough rest in your soul that you can continue on with your day and still have gratitude at the end of the day instead of wanting the day to end. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this video today. And once again, don't forget, if you found it useful or helpful in any way, make sure you hit that like button so I know that. And also make sure to hit subscribe before you go for any future homeschooling content. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have fun homeschooling. Bye.